You could smell it before you saw it. A mix of motor oil, sawdust, and old rubber. The garage wasn't just a place to park the car. It was Dad's kingdom, his escape, his workshop, his world. From rusty toolboxes to half-finished projects, every corner told a story. And even if you weren't allowed to touch anything, you always wanted to. Today, we're flipping back the calendar to look at 10 things every 60s dad had in the garage. 1. The red metal toolbox. It was dented, scratched, maybe a little greasy. But that red toolbox was the heart of the garage. Inside, you'd find a jumble of wrenches, screwdrivers, and maybe even an old peanut butter jar full of screws. Most dads bought them from Sears or Western Auto. No fancy brands, just solid steel. That box saw everything. Bike repairs, leaky sinks, even birdhouses for the backyard. Nowadays, tools are cordless and smart, but nothing beats the clank of that lid closing shut. 2. Pegboard walls with hanging tools. If you were lucky, Dad had the whole wall covered. Drills, hammers, pliers, all hung neatly like a display at the hardware store. The pegboard wasn't just practical. It was a little bit of garage art. He might have traced outlines around each tool with a Sharpie, just so things stayed in order. It made you feel like you were walking into a secret lab. Today, garages are cluttered with bins, but that pegboard kept things proudly in sight. 3. The coffee can full of nails. It didn't matter what you needed, a roofing nail, a tack, a bolt. It was probably in that can, usually a reused Folgers or Maxwell House tin, heavy enough to break a toe. It made that satisfying rattle every time he shook it to find the right size. There was no system, just years of collecting odds and ends. It was a symbol of Dad's resourcefulness. Never throw away something that might come in handy. Now, we buy nails by the box, but back then, the garage had its own treasure chest. 4. The hand push mower. Before riding mowers and battery packs, there was the old reel mower. No gas, no cords, just elbow grease and that distinctive whir. You see Dad pushing it on a Sunday morning, sweat on his brow, grass clippings stuck to his socks. He might have let you try it once, only to take it back when your lines went crooked. It was a rite of passage and a lesson in hard work. These days, they're vintage decor, but back then, it was just part of the weekend. 5. The glass jar full of used paintbrushes. He never threw them out, just rinsed them half-heartedly and plopped them in a pickle jar. Some were stiff, some still had paint dried at the tip, but each told a story. The green one, that was the backyard fence. The blue one, your bedroom walls, back when you were little. It wasn't about perfection. It was about making things better with your own hands. Now we toss and replace, but he believed in keeping things just in case. 6. The wall calendar from the local garage. Usually came free with an oil change or tire rotation. Had a muscle car, a pinup, or maybe a local ad for Joe's Auto Supply. Dad didn't use it to remember birthdays, but he circled things like change oil or buy spark plugs. Sometimes you'd catch him staring at it, coffee in one hand, pencil in the other. It was part calendar, part inspiration. Now we use phones, but that old wall calendar gave the garage its own heartbeat. 7. Old license plates on the wall. Some were his from past cars. Others were traded with buddies, or found at yard sales. He'd nail them up like trophies. Illinois, Texas, maybe even an old black and yellow California tag. Each plate had a story. A cross-country trip, a first car, or the one that broke down in '62. They gave the garage character, a personal museum of the open road. Today, license plates are scanned and digital, but those old tin ones still shine with pride. 8. A radio covered in sawdust. It sat on a shelf, always tuned to the same AM station. Crackly news, baseball games, maybe some Patsy Cline or Johnny Cash. He didn't blast it. It just hummed in the background while he tinkered, covered in dust and paint splatters. It looked like it had survived 100 projects. Sometimes it lost signal, and he'd bang on the side. Then it'd come right back. Now we stream music, but that old radio was a garage's soundtrack. 9. The workbench with the vise. Thick wood, heavy, usually handmade. The vise at the end was crusted with glue, rust, and years of memories. It held bike parts, pine wood derby cars, even stubborn pickle jar lids. If Dad was at the bench, you knew not to interrupt. It was his church, his desk, his happy place. Today's benches come pre-built, but nothing matched the soul of that homemade slab. 10. A half-built project that sat there for years. Maybe it was a go-kart, a wooden boat, or a shelf that never found a wall. Whatever it was, it sat in the corner, waiting. You'd ask, "Dad, when are you going to finish that?" He'd smile and say, "Someday." It wasn't about being done, it was about doing. That unfinished project said more about the man than anything else in the garage. The garage wasn't just full of stuff. It was full of Dad. The smell of grease, the clink of tools, the hum of that dusty radio. All stays with you. Maybe you still have some of these things. Maybe you wish you did. Either way, they remind us of a time when life was simpler and work got done by hand. If this walk down memory lane brought back some good feelings, go ahead and comment your favorite garage memory. And don't forget to subscribe. We got more coming.